morning for our South African listeners and our listeners from Canada. With the difference in time we have here, the Canadians must be still fast asleep. Obviously the parents and supporters will all be up and listening from Canada. For our South African viewers, being 10:22 here, it's 11:22 in South Africa, up against Canada with 3 seconds to go, refs in position, and off they go. South Africa played back against Canada white, with the Canadians. Were they caught asleep here, or was it a quick take off by the South African? Big strike. Let's see what happens here. Well, somebody heard the buzzer wrong, something went wrong there. That wasn't a good strike there from both teams. As the Canadian team was waiting for the South Africans, or the buzzer to go, South Africa seemed like they heard the buzzer. So false start, and it will be a fresh kick-off. For South Africa we have we have Michelle sitting out for this game. The coach, Henry Baton in the water, deciding it's Alma's, Michelle's chance to sit out. Good player by South Africa, with number 6 following up Matthew Penning right behind the strike. Going to the middle, and unfortunately for South Africa, on the momentum they had, been called out for infringement against. Let's see if we can get that call for you. Infringement against the Canadian team. 2, 4, 6, 8 players, only 2 substitutions in the box for the Canadian team. A lot of pressure on them, bringing 8 players to this tournament. Well done to you, Canada, for supporting the world age group, 5th age group in Sheffield. Good to see support from all over the world. And South Africa hard on the strike. Brandon for Wake trying to work it through. And we have the Canadians defending the fencing. South Africa needs to take calm as we get bodies at the bottom. Don't make them infringement, put pressure on them. Canada taking up in the corner, coming out. As we line up, the Canadians capitalize on the pressure that was put on them. Well, Canada, we have Paul Sark, and then Nardu, Nathiel, Jean-Philippe, Hugo Daniel, Lance, Sam and Edwin. The captain being Lance, the vice captain being Jean-Philippe. Captain for South Africa, Cameron Stephen, vice captain Alma Salia. As we get the kick-off right on the 8th goal here of the Canadian team. Infringement call against South Africa. South Africans caught napping there, waiting for a call. Call wasn't made. Matthew needs to get down. Needs to protect the puck. Good play here for number 12. Shane Maindel, picked up by number 8. Hugo Daniel, number 9. Lance, the captain, playing it to the inside. Good player by the Canadian team. Unfortunately for South Africa, they couldn't intercept that puck. A lot of pressure on South African yards. The Canadians get their momentum going. For the first 2-3 minutes we were in their half, right on the goal face. Couldn't get the goal in the back, couldn't get the puck in the back of the goal. Play being brought back to South Africa. South Africa now need to get these spinsters going. If we can get that puck there, it should be a goal for South Africa as they get momentum going right in front of the goal area of the Canadians team in their half. Keep on shooting South Africa, keep staying down. It will come. We see that, a hard long flick, and into the goal it goes. Good play by South Africa. As the wing was open on the left hand side, on the right hand side for South Africa. Goal scored, good play. Well, it comes, you know, if you saw that, you see South Africa just waiting patient, absorbing the pressure, and then a hard swim and finished off by Akkad Engelbrecht. Well done. Roy, good play here by South Africa. And that is 1-0 with the Canadian team, only 2 substitutions. And as I said earlier, good to see you guys supporting it. And she gets a strike. South Africa, beautiful player by, looks like Alma Salia, picking it up on a small little jinx to the left. And followed up by number 11, Akkad Engelbrecht. And the number, come on, South Africa, number 7, trying very hard there, Austin Alfrink. And intercepted here. No. Come on, stay down. Number 7, Austin turning, picking it up. Austin brothers, the captain of the 19 team. Look at the skill down at the bottom. Look at the guy staying down. Good defense here by the Canadian team. Picked up by South Africa. Opening up to the wing. Brandon from Wyk. Swimming hard, turning. And if we can get this puck through, it should be a lot of pressure on the Canadian team. And just can't get it around. No support here from the back, unfortunately. South Africa couldn't capitalize on the pressure they put on the Canadian team. South Africa playing in black. Sometimes difficult as an Australian, as a New Zealand. Canadian team also have a dark stripe on his pool, on their costume, depending on the way they lie, and it gets picked up by, look like number 9, Dick van Renen, swimming straight to the goal area. Beautiful defense by the Canadian team. Two on one. South Africa couldn't get through there, played into the corner. South Africa playing it up against the wall, get your bodies down. Brandon from Wyk, waiting. He's in a good position there, just to slide it with his body. Ref going down. Barrier assisting the ref. Refs are allowed to use the barrier for assistance, also not the players. Infringement called, quick swapping, substitution taking place. As you can see, the substitution box for the Canadian team quite empty, with only 2 subs. Right, so Africa started this in a good position, good attacking position. Let's see if they can work it through. Ryan Cancel working very hard, picking it out to the side of the pool by the Canadian team, taking it to the corner. 9 minutes left in the first half of this match. Bring it out wide, and South Africa should finish that off by Brandon van Wyk. Good flick. No, it was in the back, but infringement called. I could not see that infringement. Unfortunately for South Africa, they got the goal, but it was not awarded due to earlier infringement. Canadian team have a breather here as they puck gets placed in the middle of the pool, swimming out to the side, keeping the puck on the step, just small little jinx, waiting for the player to get in position before they offload. And look at the coaches on the other side there, look at them sitting down at the bottom, the Canadian coach right down at the bottom, Henry also down at the bottom, the refs in position to keep the game flowing. Much more flowing game than the one against Great Britain yesterday, where we had stop and goes, numerous stop and goes, frustrating game to watch, commentate and play. Well pick up there by the Canadian team, good small little slide underneath the body, turn, opening it up, another 45 swim out to the side, good play by Canada. South Africans, that's picking it up beautifully, and just a small little, unfortunately for South Africa, we had a play on the inside, and number 10, for South Africa, Carl could just not get the player. Number 7, a hard swim by Austin up the side. With support on the inside. If we can get this puck on the inside, it should be a goal. Unfortunately for South Africa, excellent defense by the Canadian player, as we had Austin on the outside, and a good luck number 11, Eckhart on the inside, waiting for the puck, and good defense there by the Canadian team. A lot of pressure here. Barging call, body blocking call. Barging, body blocking call against Africa. I've been asked to put the mic closer to my mouth. Sorry if you couldn't hear the earlier commentating. Frantic call here by the ref. Let's see what the call is, as we have Jack van Black joining in the commentating box. The 7 minutes to go in the first half. Call is made against, looks like against South Africa. Placed it on just out the 6 meter line. Is it a call for South Africa? No, South Africa gets the advantage puck here on the goal of was an equal puck, right? Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, equal puck. South Africa getting the puck, swinging it out to the side of the pool on the goal area. If we get the bodies down here, we should get it in. Just stay down, guys. Good pick up by the South African wing, bringing it back onto the inside. and swinging it out to the side, and it looks like it's finished off, and that should be a clean goal. Good play, good patience, good finish off. Well done, South Africa. Dirk van Reenen with Jack van Braak giving me the thumbs up. Much better, thank you, much better. If you're talking to, that's why they say, speak up, talking to the mic. Right, so the puck gets placed in the middle of the pool. South Africa up 2-0, scored by Dirk van Reenen, his brother playing for the 19 team, Marnus van Reenen. Twee boerseentjies daar van Suid-Afrika. CD, geluk met julle seuns hoor, hulle speel baie lekker hockey, alles gaan goed hier so, they're all healthy, all eating well. Good to have players like that in a team, well-mannered boys, setting example. Come on, South Africa, get picked up there by number 5, Elmar, number 7, Austin having a good game here, and then the captain, Cameron Stephen, picking it up. Look at the skill here, you'll see Cameron's got a big flick on him. Just draws a player and turns and puts the player on the wing in a much better position. Unfortunately for South Africa, the body position not as down low as we wanted it. With the captain of Canada intercepting it, looking at the number 9 for Canada, Lance, picking it up, swimming on the side of the pool. Good play by Canada, hard swim down the open face of the area. If they get support in the middle, it could be dangerous for South Africa. Unfortunately, no support from the South African team. Swimming straight down the side of the pool. And Brandon from Bank gets called up. He had an open pool there in front of him. Unfortunately, we get called up. Right, so infringement called earlier against South Africa. Probably Brandon didn't hear that. Brandon from Bank having a good game here. Very prominent player for South Africa. One of our Gauteng provincial players. Played last year or the year before in the 19th for South Africa in Hobart. Picked up by Elmar, taken to the inside. As we have all our players at the bottom, if we can get the puck out to the right hand side, we had an open player there. Sometimes you just need to look up. As you saw earlier when the ladies were playing, they've got some of those players have got the ability to trust the puck on the stick, and they just look up. They don't need to look down to see where the puck is. You need to know where your players are to offload. Picked up there. Let's see if they're going to put it into the middle of the pool, and another small little switch, and unfortunately we just can't get bodies behind the puck. Picked up, flicked to the inside, intercepted by Canada. Canada playing a very, very, very good match here. And South Africa on the attack, coming in from the back. This should be a goal for South Africa. No, Canadian intercepting it once again. Flicked away by South Africa into the open pool area and picked up by Canada, swimming it hard into the back of the pool. Well done, Canada. Right, Jack van Braak just came into the pool area, to the commentating area, and he had to, unfortunately, to leave with a good finish off by South Africa. Canada couldn't get their bodies down early enough. We had 2 players from Canada coming down in defence, but too late. South Africa just finished it off with a flick into the goal box. Elmar Salia, well done, Elmar. 2 brothers in this team, Elmar Salia and Michelle Salia. I see Michelle getting out of the water, going to fetch something. Somebody probably needs a stick or a pair of different fins. Right, Elmar Salia scoring the 2nd goal. South Africa, 3rd goal. South Africa up 3-0 now. Good play by South Africa. 2 minutes to go in the first half. Let's see who gets a strike as we get the kick-off. South Africa swimming hard down the open middle area of the pool. And we're getting the South African players down at the bottom. Brandon picking up out to our right-handed player, Brandon Verbeek, or that Dirk van Reenen, getting it into the middle. Brandon on the open wing side, one of our top forwards, swimming hard. And that should be a finish off. Beautiful finish off, 4-0 for South Africa. That's what happens when you put the puck onto the stick of your player, and not just flicking it away, drawing players in, making sure you've got not a 50-50 flick, but 100% flick onto Cameron's stick, and he finishes off. Well done, Cameron. That'll put their tails up, going up 3-0, with White calling a timeout, Canada calling a timeout with 1 minute 30 seconds to go. To the Canadian team, a message from Jack van Black for the guys listening, to Jacob Shears and to Ellen. Jack sends his regards. Says he had a wonderful time. We had Worlds last year in Quebec, Canada. An excellent tournament as well. The hosting nations and federations are really lifting the bar on these international tournaments, with the standard rising every year, as we see here in Sheffield. Like I said, 13 countries playing at this tournament, over 300 players with around about 200 support staff, all working with a smile every morning when you get to the pool. Big smile on the faces, big smile on the people working in the cafeterias, and a start off play. And again, it looks like a false start by a South African player, by Ryan van Zyl. It looks like it's they're hearing the wrong buzzer. And what will we get here? The refs need to make a call. Seems like we haven't had can't be the buzzer. I think it's just could be the buzzer from Court A. That's the last game they played yesterday was in Court A, and that buzzer went off frequently with that game against Great Britain. So I think they're just getting a bit confused. South Africa pick it up by Al Marcelier, flicks it out to the left-hand side, on the far side of the pool, on the halfway line. Let's see if South Africa can create space and bring it out to the wing on the right-hand side here. Let's just go to the inside. Unfortunately, the South African player can't pick up the number 3 player from South Africa, Ryan van Zyl, in a good position, but an earlier infringement been called up and asked to restart the game. Advantage for Canada against South Africa. Good start by South Africa. Unfortunately, the Canadian intercepting that puck, and off we go with South Africa now defending. For the first time, the Canadians are on the South African half. A good pickup by the Canadian, a small little curl, kicking hard as he gets the puck behind the stick and opening up. South Africa trying to get the puck out. Good swim here by number 6, just picking up the vice captain. Unfortunately, Almar just losing that puck there in a very good position. Good defensive play by number 5, that hill from Canada. Almar had an open goal there, open pool. The goal should have been a goal, but unfortunately for them, that Tel Schoenberger, number 5 from Canada, stopping that open goal. As you see on your screen here, ladies and gentlemen, we've got all our sponsors. Thank you very much for coming to the party and supporting this great tournament. Sheffield, like I said, is a beautiful city with lovely old buildings. The kids have all been walking around. Last night we went to dinner, and it's so nice and pleasant to know that the kids can walk up and down without any concerns, looking at the old buildings, the old cathedral with lovely walkways. Roger Bester from South Africa, the elite ladies coach. His wife is here, Jean, and their son Matthew, playing for the 19 team, has also joined us, and he'll be joining the commentating team. A man with lots of experience. We're looking forward to his commentating. As you see there, the refs. One ref has got his fins off, just putting some magic Vaseline on his feet. So we've had 3 days now. This is the start of day 3. This is match number 65 in Court B. South Africa up 4-0, with the last goal being scored by Cameron Stephen. Well done, South Africa. This is a game that South Africa need to regroup after their unfortunate loss of 3-1 against Great Britain in a highly emotional game. South Africa up 1-0 and losing in the end 2-1. Look at the players here listening to the coach. Usually the coach gives the captain a 30-second talk opportunity as well. Henry Mouton, also one of our top national swimming coaches. A lot of his players swimming on international level. Good to have a professional coach on board. Not being a paid job, as all our coaches all over the world do this for the love of the sport. Henry being the coach in 2017 as well with Bram Botha. Unfortunately, Bram could not join us due to work commitments. He had to withdraw from the coaching. Missing you, Bram, back in South Africa. Hopefully you're watching and you're supporting us. Right, so it's 3 seconds to go. Let's see if we can get a clean start this time. If the buzzer doesn't interfere. Buzzer goes, South Africa down at the bottom. Brandon van Wyk right in front. And the Canadians beat us to the strike. Staying down at the bottom, trying to work it through the middle of the South African defence. Doing well there by Canada. Still got pressure on South Africa. South Africa need to absorb and swim it out to the side, as the Canadians are coming strong on the South African defence. South Africa now, fortunately, the puck pops out and gives it opportunity just for a breather and to get the puck into the corner of the pool. Canada picks it up, flicks it into the centre of the pool, probably just a fraction too early, giving South Africa the opportunity to intercept. A lot of pressure on South Africa. The Canadian back there waiting patiently. Again, South Africa decide, right, let's take it to the rear of the pool, get my fresh legs in, and works very well for South Africa. So we just needed a player there on the inside. Well picked up here. This is a speedster swimming in there. Is that Cameron? Good play here. Yes, that'll be a goal. Breakaway goal scored by South Africa. A lot of pressure on us and a good position when the puck popped out on the back from the back player from Canada. South Africa were there quickly to capitalise on it and swim straight through. Good swim there by Cameron. His mom is he's on the management team, doing an excellent job, and his dad will also be joining. Robert will also be joining us next week sometime, with the brother Daniel being one of South Africa's top cyclists. A lot of action here in court A in front of the commentating box as South Africa take the kick off. Let's see who's going to get it. Alma Saliat slides the puck out to the right hand side of the pool. Good follow up there by the wing. Playing on the far side, bodies down at the bottom. Let's see if we can get it into open space. Keep the puck on the stick. Well done, boys. Good swim here. Unfortunately, the South African player just not looking up as the Canadian comes down with a clean takeoff. Good pick up here by Ryan from the back of the pool. One of our strong players, trying his best. Number 7 from South Africa, it's Austin Elfrink. His brother, the captain of the 19 team. Infringement. 12 minutes, 30 seconds to go. Nice game this to commentate and to watch on, as we get some good play, good open play. South Africans take position and flick out to the right here by Lorcan Slabbert onto the South African stick. Come on, South Africa, let's get some open play going here. Picked up by South Africa, playing it to the inside, and a good slide movement underneath the body, and a good stay down by Ryan. Unfortunately, the South Africans not be able to pick up that puck, and it looks like that'll be a flick into the goal, either by Brandon or Dirk. I'll get the number now for you. Good score. Hard swim, but Dirk van Reenen, lekker Dirk, baie lekker goal baie mooi om te sien dat jy onder gebly het. Die pak spring uit op die linkerkant van die spelers en Dirk tel hom op, swem reguit deur met 'n goeie fliek, finishing it off with a good flick there, a good goal for South Africa. 2 quick goals in the second half. In the first 4 minutes of the second half, South Africa scoring 2 goals. Vice captain Elmar flicking it to Brandon from back on the wing. Picked up by Ryan, opening space. That to Austin there. Let's see, Matthew Penning getting his body in a very good position. Hard swim, good follow up here by South Africa. For some other reason, we didn't have a player down at the bottom. When that puck was lying there for a second or two, Canadians nearly capitalizing on a puck and open play. Canada picking it up, turning, working it backwards. Let's see if Ryan can get behind it. Stoppage and play. Only the third or fourth infringement in the first 5 minutes of this game. Much better game here by the South African team. 6-0, 10 minutes left. Refs are ready, players are ready. It's picked up, flicked out wide. Up, a small little pick up from number 9. Dirk van Reden still down at the bottom. Good play, Dirk. Let's see if we can get it opened up here. Number 3 in position, Ryan van Zyl. Flicking it back to that Matthew Penning. Good defense by Canada, not allowing South Africa to swim forward just across the pool area. Good work there on the far side by one of our big players. Unfortunately, just flicking it forward. Sometimes good just to absorb it and play it back. And Dirk, again, Dirk very prominent in this play here. Lockenslabbert waiting for it. Unfortunate body blocking, barging, not allowing the Canadians any space. And called up. Team timeout called by Henry. Time to have a chat, boys. You're scoring goals, but you can probably just restructure and stop flicking the pucks away. It's not all about the score. It's about getting your players in a good position, seeing where you can improve, getting your skills and your tactics right. Canada bringing 8 players to this World Championship in Sheffield, meaning they only have 2 substitutes, putting a lot of pressure on them. Very difficult to play with only 8 players in the under 24 division. Very, very, very tight division. Well, even the ref is taking a ref time out here on the deck, just taking a breather. They're just confirming the call. Right, it's an infringement against South Africa on the halfway mark, just inside South Africa's area. And down the Canadians go. Let's see what they'll do. Will they swim straight or bring it out? They decide to bring it out to number 12. A good stop there by Brandon. Flicked onto his stick as he puts the puck down. Canadians working it up. Brandon says, I'll take it. I'll make a plan with it. Illegal stopping by South Africa. That was a good stop, but it seems like it could then have been picked up by the ref as a stoppage on the wrist and not on the stick. Waiting for advantage, no advantage. Good play there, good call there by the refs, trying to get the game to flow. As we know, it's very frustrating for both teams playing a stop-go game. Well, South Africa flicking into the inside of the pool, no player down there. Unfortunately for Canada, they couldn't capitalize on that open play area. Come on, South Africa, you can't just flick a puck away. Bodies down, and let's see if we can get going. Picked up by South Africa. South Africa really trying hard to open up the game here. It's happening. Just get the puck to this player in the middle of the pool. Unfortunately, hanging on a second too long. Not offloading in time, allowing the Canadians to intercept. 7.5 minutes to go in the second half. South Africa leading 6-0. It's the 3-meter pool. Your timing's got to be perfect. South Africa's got to get bodies down. As the Canadians come hard at the goal face of South Africa, the Canadians would love to score here. putting pressure on the South African defence. Canada working it out on the side. 1-2 players down at the bottom for Canada, waiting for the puck to come out. Infringement call, stoppage and play. A lot of action here in Court A as the GB playing. You can hear GB playing at Court A with a lot of supporters in the pavilion. Nice to see all the supporters here supporting their home team. Home ground advantage for GB, with Canada taking the kick-off, putting a lot of pressure on South African defence, absorbing it, waiting for the right moment. South Africa working it up on the side. They're trying to make space. It's well intercepted there, good curl, offloading to the inside player from Canada. And South Africa swimming hard here by Elmar Salia, and unfortunately stopped. You can see Elmar there turning his body so he can get the dolphin kick going. If there wasn't an infringement earlier, you would have seen some speed there from Elmar. Right, South Africa defending again. Let's see if the Canadians can finish it off. Just putting the players into the right and then left, and fortunately for South Africa, they picked up that move with Ryan chipping and chasing. Good defence by the Canadian player as we had 2-on-1 there, and the Canadian player just staying down and making sure South Africa couldn't offload. Right, Brandon van Wyk, let's see if you can get South Africa on the front foot. Yes, this should be, no, unfortunately not. South Africa having a better game than yesterday, and for the last 10 minutes, probably last 7 minutes, South Africa could not score a goal. It was 4-0 half time, and now scoring 2 goals in the second half, 6-0 up. Refs ready to play. Right, off we go. South Africa making a lot of infringements in the second half as all the pucks, all the advantage calls are being called against. South Africa 4, Canada flicked through. This should just get into the inside. Brandon can finish it off. Intercepted once again. Good pick up there by the South African player. Puck just lying there waiting, and I think it was Matthew Penning saying, I'll take that. Good turn there by South Africa, drawing a player in, getting his players onto the goal box area, getting them in position. Patiently we wait. Canadians down at the bottom. South Africa waiting for the puck to come out to them. And picking it up there, intercepted by South Africa. Played back into the corner by Australia, by Canada. And off we go. Canada's got the puck out. Brandon picks it up. Brandon's having a very good game here. Got good bottom time. South Africa need to support Brandon, get closer to him, as he is really playing his heart out here. Good position against again. If he can finish off, he deserves it. Well done. Excellent play. Staying at the bottom, not allowing the defender to pick it up, but rather saying, that's mine, I'll swim it in. And a well-deserved goal for Brandon van Wyk, player number 1. Good play, Brandon. Right, so it's 7-0 for South Africa against Canada. And Court B, with a South African flag there, prominent behind the Canadian team. With Michelle Salia sitting out this one. Let's see who takes the strike. Both teams go down. Canada gets it. Good pickup, good interception by Cameron. Good defense by Canada, as Cameron was on speed there. And if he could get past there, open play again. I think that is looks like Matthew Penning, and he could get it to the inside. He gets it to the inside, and South Africa should finish this one off. Good play there by Canada. Good defensive play. South Africa allowing the Canadians to get into position to save that one. Number 7 there, who's number 7 for South Africa? Looks like Austin Alfred getting into position. And number 6 That Matthew Penning, good play by Matthew, also staying down. Oops, I think we were caught offside there. I thought they heard the buzzer going. Good play here. Yeah. Just a flick away onto the Canadian player's stick, allowing the Canadians to swing the puck out to the side. We had a player on the behind that one, and let's see if we can work this one up. This African player was getting ready to flick it into the goal box and waiting patiently, luckily, and finishing it off. Good play, South Africa. Not flicking it away this time, but rather waiting for your players to get into position and then just swimming it through. Goal number 2 scored for Eckhart on the 11. His brother Elrich is the coach of the 19 team. Right, the team is 8-0 up, and the scores are for the individual players, but the win goes to the team. 1 minute 15 seconds to go, and Canada decides to call a team timeout. Right, just something interesting about Sheffield. Sheffield, like Jack said, has got the 2 oldest soccer clubs in the UK. Sheffield also heavily bombed in the Second World War due to the steelwork factories building sheet metal for battleships. So they've taken their beating, but restored the city to a lovely tourist destination. If you ever have the opportunity to come to Sheffield, don't miss out. The supporters here, the staff in the commentating box, on deck, all over. It really is an absolute privilege to be part of this well-organized tournament. Thank you to the British Octopus Association, to the people of Sheffield. It's really a good experience for all of us as the refs get ready for the last 1 minute 15 seconds of this game. South Africa leading 8-0 as we have the kickoff, and goes to Canada. South Africa intercepting, and Brandon once again very prominent here, playing it backwards to our number 8 player. Number 9 is Dirk van Reening, Lekker Dirk, and number 3 also Ryan van Zyl, prominent in this game. Ryan van Zyl, one of our top players. Sometimes our top players, just to keep their composure and not get intimidated by other players or ref calls, as they all have the skill to beat the best in the world, and you can only do it by swimming like that gentleman swam there, keeping the puck on the stick, not flicking it away, just a small little jinx to the right, and swimming straight past the South Africa, the Canadian defence. Lekker Dirk, I think that's also his second goal for the match. Hard swim, small little jinx, drawing the player, and then by accelerating, swimming past the Canadian defender. I think the Canadians were expecting a flick, as we had some unfortunate flicks being flicked away, and that's the end of the game. 9-0 for South Africa. Well done. Thank you again for the guys listening, and the next game will be for South Africa. The next match will be South Africa men 11:55 playing against Argentina, also in Pool B. Your time in South Africa 12:55. Tot ziens. Bye.